building out my Tikka TAC A1 right now on Pirate Firearms and reloading.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So today I've got a bit of a project on. I've bought myself a Tikka TAC A1 24-inch barrel 6.5 Creedmoor, which is going to be a bit of a introduction. It's a PRS type rifle. I'm going to set it up as a range rifle. I don't intend on taking this guy out in the field. So, you know, positional shooting, barricades, prone shooting, try a little bit of bench rest with it as well. I'm going to take you through the build. I'm going to talk about some of the components and why I've chosen them. And we're going to have a bit of fun. So a little bit of a time lapse, just so you don't have to sit here for 3 hours while I build it. But let's go. I'm going to take both the scope and the mount off the bench because that's going to be covered in a separate video. I'm just going to set up the rifle today, and you'll have to stay tuned for another video. I'm going to change out the bolt handle with this Atlas Works bolt handle when it decides to focus, which is a nice knurled one. I like the longer grip because it allows me to sort of blade the bolt with my hand, bring it forward and close it down again, basically all in between my index and my thumb. So that guy's going to get changed out. That's a nice simple one. This is actually an old one I've got, hence the little marks on it. Not the end of the world. I'm going to put a Arca rail on for M-LOK. This is a Sunway photo one. I picked this one up when I picked up the latest ball head I bought. I thought I'm going to give this a go. It looks really nice. It is a lightweight rail. It does have, you know, reliefs machined into it, but it still seems really rigid. So we're going to give that a go. This is the 240mm version that they do, and just so coincidentally, it fits perfectly on the Tikka handguard. I'm going to put a vertical grip on. This one's from MDT. This is the Premier grip. I'll show you through adjusting that. Available in New Zealand is, and I believe they're slowly becoming available around the world as well through Legacy Sports, is the stealth suppressor from Hardy Rifle Engineering here in New Zealand. Independently tested as the quietest suppressor in New Zealand. They do a few different models, different lengths, various bits and pieces. You may have noticed I have already removed the Picatinny rail off the bottom here. That's because I've designed and 3D printed a bag rider to go on there that utilizes the factory screws. I am going to chuck a mount on for my Odin light as well, just for low light shooting and things like that. I probably won't often use it, but I've got a whole lot of these spare mounts which make it really easy to take the Odin Mini on and off all the time. So I'm just going to put one on. It's there if I need it. I am going to fit the provided sling mount up in the forend as well. These come with the rifle when you purchase them. They also come with a little toolkit, shims and spacers for adjusting both cant and length of pull, so you can cant the recoil pad. You can also move the recoil pad up and down on these as well as the adjustable cheek riser. So I'm going to go through it. I'm going to start with the Arca rail because that means I can then put a bipod on this rifle, and I can also put it into my tripod and test out my length of pull and my grip adjustments and my cheek riser in various different shooting positions. As always, I have my trusty Loctite 222, which I pretty much use on everything. So it turns out these Sunway Photo Arca rails, if you can see that blue in there, come with dry lock on them, which means I'm not going to actually have to add Loctite to these, which is quite a nice feature. I didn't mind doing it, but it's there anyway. So shift these guys out of the way. So very nicely with this Sunway Photo M-LOK Arca rail is the M-LOK nuts are cammed. So all you've got to do is back the guy out, tighten it up, and they will all cam over. So as with all M-LOK metallic to metallic locks, M-LOK spec recommends a 35 inch-pound torque setting. So bang that onto my trusty fix-it sticks. Make sure we're going the right way. So I'm just going to hold this up. I don't know if you can see it, but all the T-nuts inside the forend there have cammed around. Take my Accutech bipod. With its Arca spec clamp on it, lock that guy in place. Now I can get the factory supplied sling mount. These T-nuts are also cammed, so look out for cheap T-nuts. They won't be cammed. You can see that one side has a sharp corner and one side has a rounded corner. Now we're going to deal with the vertical grip. This is the next thing I want to set up. So this is the MDT one. Now they offer 3 different options in their vertical grip. Actually 4 now. They've just released their carbon fiber version as well. So what you essentially have is the backbone, and of course these are actually technically AR compatible if you want to put a vertical grip on an AR platform. And then it has the 2 sort of clamshells on the outside and these elongated slots which allows you to bring the grip back and forward to suit your shooting style. In order to fit this grip, I've discovered a little bit of an inconvenient issue. MDT supply you with the standard AR thread, right? Which seems all very fine until it stops. Although that's because they use a different thread pitch. So they use the correct diameter, but a different thread pitch. So what I've had to do is counterbore in the little adapter bracket that goes inside the MDT grip, and that'll allow me to actually get it down far enough. So and now I've got the supplied hardware for fitting the actual grip to the backbone. The next thing to do is I'm going to change out my bolt knob and handle. So if you're in New Zealand, I do sell these little 3D printed tools. That is for relieving the pressure on this dovetail here to remove this and also disassemble the bolts. That's a bolt disassembly tool. And this is a decocking tool which grips onto the shroud. Now, with this particular rifle, the TAC-A1, Tikka does provide you with a bolt shroud tool and a decocker. It does not provide you with a disassembly tool though. In fact, I believe that Tikka don't actually produce one themselves. So what we're going to do first of all is slip this handle over the bolt, and we're going to go the opposite way around until the spring-loaded bolt shroud tries to push itself off. This is where this bolt disassembly tool truly comes in. If you look at the end of it, you've got your cocking indicator piece attached to the end of the firing pin. This guy slips simply over the top like that. You can put it on your bench. So you're simply going to force that downwards, and now you can slide your bolt handle out. This is the exact same way you're going to go about disassembling your bolt and removing the firing pin from the bolt body as well. But we're not going to do that today. We're simply changing out the bolt handle. So I'm going to put my tool back here on top, can rotate it till it lines up, push down, and without losing it all, there we go. New bolt handle in place. This is very much easier if you hold the bolt body in a vise. The neat thing about this tool, back before I designed this, I actually used to use like a block of wood to depress that little guy there. Let's get in the middle. That little guy there, just on the end, the silver piece. I used to use a little block of wood. The problem being is once you applied tension, you couldn't actually turn this mechanism and line the dovetail up. With this tool holding the entire piece together, it allows you to give it that little turn in order to slide that bolt handle in nicely. Once you've done that, you can get your shroud, put that back on like that, and then we are going to twist like that and put it back into its notch. So now we have brand new bolt handle. Now, just for reference too, the point of this tool, when you're storing your bolts for long periods, you can see the cam here for the firing position and the cocked position, and you can simply twist that like that, and that bolt is now decocked, and it removes the tension from the firing pin inside the bolt body. When you're ready to shoot again, cam it back up into its correct position, and you're good to go. So yeah, if you're in New Zealand, jump on Trade Me. I sell all sorts of neat little tools like this to make your life easier. So now we're going to fit the bag rider. So as I mentioned earlier, I've already taken off the factory Picatinny rail that goes here. I've got the screws just sitting in there, so I didn't lose them. Yeah. Pretty shortly you'll see these also on my Trade Me page if you're interested in buying one here in New Zealand. I will look at doing some of this stuff internationally when worldwide shipping returns to normal. I'm not really interested in dealing with it at the moment. And with these guys, I recommend no more than 10 inch-pounds. So for this one, I've got my trusty old Wheeler fat wrench. Up to 10 inch-pounds. So this guy utilizes the factory screws, so you don't have to go and get new hardware. So if you're like myself and prefer a rear bag, you now have a really nice and stable bag rider, which gives you a lot more purchase area on the rear buttstock. You could use this flat spot up here further, but it's so much higher, you're going to require a taller bag in more situations. And you know, if I really am desperate and I need it to be a whole lot lower, I can actually still use that part of the factory buttstock. So I'm going to do one final thing. And that is to put a mount on for my Olight Odin. Being this has a full-length Picatinny rail, it gives me plenty of opportunity to place my tail switch wherever I need. I'll decide on that later on once I've got the scope mounted on, of course. Right folks, that pretty much covers the setup of this rifle. So what I'm going to do now is set the rifle up in terms of length of pull for my body. I'm going to fine tune the grip and where that sits. And then I'm going to come back and in another video, which you'll see shortly after the release of this one, will be a video on the spur mount and mounting the scope onto this rifle. Thanks everybody, catch you in the next one.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe so you don't miss out on anything. And if you found this video helpful, please share it with your friends. If you have any questions, hit me up in the comments below. Catch you next time.